Guys, look what I just got in the mail. So cute. No, I didn't really get a cat in the mail, obviously. I already had her, but hey, cats love boxes. What's up guys, it's Exa and welcome back to my channel. Today, although I did not get a cat in the mail, I did get something else very, very exciting in this box. So, the first thing I got is a couple Louis Vuitton wallets that are a little stained and beat up, and we are going to be dyeing them to kind of make them look brand new again. And to go with those, this very adorable bag. This is the Bedford. It's real cute. It's actually not that bad. It has some staining on this end, but otherwise it's very uniform color. So this bag is going to be a prime candidate for us to dye a bright red. So let's get started. Can't wait to see how the stuff's going to come out. As always, I will start off with our materials that we're going to need. So we're going to need some gloves to protect our hands from getting dye on them, and you're going to need some masking tape so you can protect the parts of the bag from getting dye on them that you don't want dye on. If you watched my dyeing a pair of heels video, you saw that I kind of did a terrible job on that one. So we're going to make sure that we do an extra good job taping up this bag so we don't get any red dye on the beautiful vachetta trim. You also obviously need some paper towels. The dye, we are going to be using a cherry red Angelus leather dye, and acetone to prep your surface, as well as finally, whatever you're going to dye. You will need some kind of leather or suede product in order to do this. These ones are a patent leather with embossed Louis Vuitton print on them, so they are going to be perfect candidates to get that super shiny cherry red color. I forgot to add, most Angelus dyes do come with one of these applicators already. Prep is honestly the most important part of getting a really good dye job on anything leather, especially when you're working with used products like this. There's going to be all sorts of oils and dirts all over the surface of this bag, which is going to make it a lot harder for the dye to seep through and get that even color. So before we do anything, we're going to take our acetone and just wipe down the whole bag. Our second step is going to be taping up what we don't want dye on. For this bag, we're going to want to tape up these straps. So, I found part of the straps was going to be really hard to get tape on. So instead, when I put the dye on, I'm just going to put it around them with leaving a space and use this paintbrush to get nice and close and not get any dye on them. Alright, like I said, we're going to get started with a paintbrush and go up right next to this vachetta trim edge and make sure that we do it really slow, really carefully, so we don't get any dye on that vachetta trim. However, if you do get a little bit on it, do not panic. Angelus has a vachetta colored leather paint that you can use to touch up those tiny spots, and it will not be noticeable at all to the color of the patinaed vachetta. We're going to do the same to go around this little tiny vachetta trim on the edge of the bag as well. Now for the main part of the bag, we're going to use our little cotton ball applicator. Fun fact, if you buy any Angelus dye, it will come with one of these already. You want to make sure that you don't have too much dye on it and get these long drips like I did. If you do, make sure that you really quickly wipe them in. Otherwise, if you have more dye that is in one spot and then you blend it to the rest, it's going to leave kind of a mark that's a bit darker. So try not to get those drips if you can. It's really tough when you're working with round surfaces. So generally I would just try to kind of blot it on the paper towel or whatever you were working on top of, like I did. We are just going to go all the way around the whole bag. It works if you can kind of section it off like this around straps, so that way you're not doing the giant chunk all the way across at once. But just keep going all the way around until the whole bag is covered. Feel free to touch up any spots that you think feel a little lighter and don't have as much dye as others. Just be slow and careful and pay attention to what you're doing. Once you've coated the entire bag in an even coat of the dye, you're then just going to wipe off the excess with a paper towel. Because this is a patent material, there's going to be extra dye on top of it. If you're working with a suede, honestly, most of it will probably soak into the material. I used the same acetone wipe prep for the wallet, but I did not need to mask anything off for this, just because of the shape of this particular wallet. It's going to be really easy to get the outside without getting any dye onto the zipper area or the inside. Now again, I'm going to use my little paintbrush just to get that really fine little edge, making sure that I'm not going to get any dye onto the zipper area. If you do want to dye the zipper color, then go right ahead. But this one was already kind of a pink color on the inside, and I liked the combo with the red on the outside. Also, just like the bag, after I am all done applying dye, I'm just going to wipe it down with a paper towel. And as you can see, now we have a nice red wallet. So for our last step, if you can see where there's a little red on the trim, I'm going to take our Vachetta leather paint, put that on there. We're going to want to be really careful that we're not getting any of our paint onto our other red material here. However, this is patent leather, so lucky me, I can just wipe it off. If you don't have really long nails like me to get in those little cracks, you can just use a Q-tip. Well guys, it's actually been a few days since I made this bag. Obviously I had to let it dry overnight, and then I just kept forgetting to film it when there was enough light to be able to see me. So I think it was a success. Obviously you can still see this like really dark staining on the side of the bag and a little bit on the wallet, but they are vintage used pieces that I got for a very low price considering the fact that they are Louis Vuitton. So overall, I'm really happy with how they turned out, and I can't wait to go use my new red set. So until next time, I hope your day is as beautiful as yours.